Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty in the Frizz. My name is Kara. Whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for day 7 of FRIZZMAS. I'm excited because we are going to be talking all about winter palettes and palettes that give you those winter feels. So if that sounds good to you, keep watching this video. Let me know what you think. And if makeup is your therapy and your love, if it makes you happy, if you like eyeshadow palettes and you want to hang out with someone that feels the same way, definitely consider joining the community. I'd love to have you back. All right, let's get started. So how are you? I'm doing well. I got on my Grinch, Christmas sweater. It says all your sweaters are ugly. That's true Grinch form right there. Y'all, I love talking about eyeshadow palettes, so I'm just going to advise you to go ahead and get yourself a snack, get yourself a beverage, because we are going to chit chat. I'm recording this after work and I got to get Marky, and then we got karate, so I might have to piece this one together. I don't know how many palettes I have here, but I have a pile and I am ready to talk about these winter vibes eyeshadow palettes. And I would love to know, do you wear your eyeshadow palette seasonally, or do you just go with the flow and go with how you're feeling? Now, a lot of times these winter palettes involve a lot of blues and grays, and there's some other shades that you can do with winter. I mean, anything can be anything these days. But blues are not my color. I have started to like blues. Blue just reminds me of winter and frost and cold, depending on the type of blue, I guess. But a lot of my palettes have that theme. And there's another one I want to grab. There's one more I want to grab that just came to my mind. It's a gray one. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let me know if you have any of these palettes down in the comment section and how you feel about them. Let's do it. And these are happening in no particular order. It's just a pile that's right here on the floor. And we are going to start with a luxury eyeshadow Quint. It is from Dior and it is Blue Velvet. Now, Blue Velvet, first of all, I'd like to share that I've decided, let me tell y'all this real fast. There's another one. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta, you know what? I might just have to focus on the pile that I have here and then just talk about the other ones, because we can't go all night. Well, we can. I was looking at my analytics and just looking at which videos have done the best over time, and I just knew it was gonna be Pat McGrath. Why was it Dior Black Bow? And I was thinking I could add that to the winter palette pile, but I'm not. Anyway, these Dior Quints, I'm not keeping all of mine, but this one, Blue Velvet, I am definitely keeping this one. This one is like ethereal fairy, and the blues in here are just, they're really nice, because I have decided that I like these gray based blues versus like a teal blue or like a royal blue, you know what I mean? This, friends, is the type of blue that I am here for. Oh my gosh, I just thought about another palette. Oh my gosh, it's all coming to me now. But these mattes are really nice. This was like this velvet matte formula that Dior had, and people really liked these Quints. And I have a few of them and I'm gonna be keeping those. The shimmers in this are just okay. They're really nothing spectacular, but for me, it's this tone of blue. And this is kind of like a really deep charcoal gray. Pretty pigmented for Dior. Probably should do a Do We Still Love Her on this one. And I do not think this one is available anymore, but yeah, these are my kinds of blues. So I wanted to include this in my winter palette lineup, and hopefully I'll be using it at some point this winter. Some of these palettes I have not used yet, and you will see that, but they're still being included. Palette number 2 is Mini Triochrome by Natasha. I haven't even touched this palette yet, but it will be used. I really wanted to have this palette as an extension to my Triochrome palette. My Indie Triochrome palette is one of my favorite Natasha Denona palettes. It's pastel grunge, which is kind of contradictory in the fact that those mattes were kind of pigmented. I really like that. They were pigmented and pastel, which is great. All right, but that's not why we're here. we're here for these blues. Now, I will say, like, this blue is a bit intimidating for me. We've got a duochrome here. These are okay. You know, I'm not super thrilled with this color story, but it might be a nice addition to the Triochrome palette. So I can't wait to give this one a whirl. But yeah, it's giving me those icy blue vibes, and I think it will be a great one to wear with a nice little white sweater maybe. I won't be wearing the white sweater though. I'm too clumsy for that. But somebody else can do that. So that's palette number 2. Palette number 3 is another new one. Oh my gosh, am I gonna have to get Marky? Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get Marky after I finish talking about this one. So palette number 3 is a Quint from none other than Mama Pat. And I just received this one a couple of weeks ago. It's Lunar Nightshade. And I wanted to include this one for wintertime because everything can't be blue. But we've got these, I would say these are pretty unique shades for Pat McGrath. You have these blues that have a beautiful sparkle, holographic sparkle in these shades. And then there's like some icy champagne shades. And then we have this deep plum matte. So I'm really excited to test this one out and create some winter looks. I really don't need to do all monochromatic blue, so I think this is going to be a great one to use for the winter season. I'm sorry, I'm not swatching those because they are brand new. I want to keep them as pristine as I can for as long as I can. Okay, Marky has been secured. Palette number 4 is from Nomad Cosmetics, and this is the Whistler Snow Lodge palette. Take a look. It's been some time since I've used this one. I picked this palette just because it's inspired by Whistler in British Columbia. I've never been there, but when I did the video on this, it sounds like a nice, you know, ski lodge and place to visit. But again, I don't know if I believe in flying to the cold. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm trying to get away from it. So I'll live through this palette. Now, as far as this palette goes, this wasn't my favorite from Nomad as far as the color story and the looks, but I'd like to give it another whirl. I do have some Nomad palettes that I really, really love, but this one just wasn't a favorite. But I definitely think it is a unique color story and it's definitely on brand with Nomad Cosmetics. Palette number 5 is none other than Mothership 1 Subliminal. And I have really come to enjoy this palette. I had this palette for about a year before I actually used it, and I was so ashamed. I'm like, why haven't I used this palette? And I was talking to some of you all, and I feel like we tend to save special makeup, or we tend to save our luxury makeup or our really nice makeup for special occasions, but we need to not do that. Remember that everything has an expiration date, and there will come a time where I will, oh no, oh no, what's wrong?
We got to get together,
Whoa, slow down.
Okay, it's here, so I want to get out of my room.
Okay, do you want to take your pizza to the table?
I gotta keep it out of my deck.
It's not your deck. That's not nice. Why don't you take your food and put it on your desk? Oh man, you know it's still the coughing. And now look at my door. Not that's what you get for coughing on purpose. Oh, because he thinks August is doing it on purpose, which he might be. So this is just a very beautiful cool tone color story. And what I was trying to say was, like, we cannot save makeup. I think we should be putting on motherships to go grocery shopping. We can put on our motherships to go to the gym. Let's normalize using our motherships, y'all, because lots of us on here talk about how we save our motherships. What are we saving them for? Like, put it on for no reason. We're enough. So that's palette number 5. Here comes Marky. Oh, he went upstairs. Palette number 6 is the Christmas Eve palette from Odins Eye. And I did not pick Merry Christmas because, I don't know, that's more of a Christmas palette. But this one is a winter night. And I think it is so beautiful. Odins Eye, I know they tried, but they could not top last year's Christmas release. But they tried. I just love this. It just reminds me of stained glass. It's so pretty. And despite it having the wintry vibe, There are other looks that you can get. Like you got a grungy green here. You have these kind of like marigold yellow shades, which are really beautiful. I love the navies. I love this shade. I think it's Nowhere. This one right here, which is like a cool, like a taupe blue shimmer. Very beautiful. I will say I'm somewhat concerned about the longevity of my Odins Eye shimmers. Just looking at them over time, and that's just something that I want to keep in mind. How are they gonna last over time? I've had a couple that are really like hard pressed now, hard panned, and even putting tape on them, it did not help. I think someone told me that Doraline could help with that. So I might try that out because I do have some. Let me know if you have the same concerns about Odins Eye. And I have to remember that when I get excited about these color stories, because at this point, I have been buying makeup since the end of 2019. A good amount of my makeup has reached its expiration date, but it looks like, I don't know, it looks like I just bought it. I can definitely say that about my Motherships. So that's the kind of makeup, honestly, that I want to continue to purchase because I have so much. There's no way I'm going to use anything by its expiration date. Let me know how you feel about Odins Eye in their shadows over time, because I'm a little concerned about the shimmers right now. So palette number 6 is going to go to the Unearthly Cosmetics Dead of Night palette, and this was last year's holiday release, I believe. Look how beautiful this palette is. It is so pretty. It's blue, it's purple, but you've got almost like a really deep teal here. You have this vibrant green, you have this vibrant blue. I remember seeing this and not being like, oh my goodness, but I remember using it and thinking like how beautiful this palette is. And the gray here, I just think this palette is so pretty. This does give me a winter vibe, but this is one of the ones that I could see wearing in the summertime too. I mean, you can definitely wear it all year round, but I just felt like it went with the little vibe that we're doing here, and I wanted to include it in my winter lineup. And as I said, this was the holiday release, so it just made me want to pull it out for this winter lineup. Now palette number 8 comes from Notoriously Morbid, and this is the Boohoo palette. And one of my friends on here encouraged me to pull this out, and I can't remember, I think maybe we were talking about using it with Xenon possibly. I really like this color story. This is one of the ones that I wish, this one and Summertime Sadness, I wish that Notoriously Morbid would have brought those two palettes back. Look at our packaging here. Look at her. Like, this is extraordinary artwork. I love it. And then in here, you have a lot of icy shimmers. And then you do have some deeper ones. You got a deep matte here. But for the most part, you've got some icy iridescent shimmers that I think would look great with like some grays and some blue mattes, navies. I think you could make some really icy wintry looks with this palette, and unfortunately it is discontinued, but this is definitely giving me like icy, snowy vibes. And then you still almost have Notoriously Morbids. They're not grungy shimmers, but they weren't gonna, they do have one all light palette though. That was the, I think it was Carpe Noctem palette. Anyway, this is just true Notoriously Morbid fashion, and I think this is a great one to put in my winter palette lineup. And this is Boohoo. And going along the same lines, palette number 9 is the Seahorse palette. And I brought this one out just because, again, this one has a lot of icy shimmers. They stand on their own, but they are great toppers. This is from Adept Cosmetics. I don't think I said that. And I love the quality of shimmers in this palette. I did do a mashup with this one and the Xenon palette, and I just thought that these shimmers kind of gave a little bit of variety that Xenon didn't have when it came to the shimmers, but these are still icy and iridescent. I remember really wanting this palette from Adept, but when I got it, I remember just not getting to it right away. I did a video where I swatched these shades over a black base, but you know, this is a companion palette at best, and I think that I found the perfect palette to use it with, which was Xenon. And this really made me appreciate the palette even more. The subtle shifts in the shades and just the variety of shifts that we have, and the variety in some of the formulas here. So this is a beautiful palette. This was one of their more expensive palettes. I was able to get this one on a discount, which I would recommend if you wanted this one, because otherwise it was very pricey. But I do like it, and I think it's very like winter and ethereal. I think this is going to be a great one to use for the season. All right, palette number 10 is another one that is brand new, and this is by Cosmic Brushes. This is the Wonderland palette. Again, a year ago I wouldn't have picked out a palette like this, but I have just started to really enjoy these colors, and I love this. And I was looking at this. I was also looking at the Land of Enchantment by Inslee Rain. But first of all, that Inslee Rain palette was just too expensive. And there was a little too much pastel in there for me. And it was giving me more of like Frozen, Elsa, like with the pink. This does give me Frozen and Elsa too. But I just feel like there was more pink and more pastel in that palette. But this one is perfect. We have 20 shades. I don't know how Cosmic Brushes is able to keep their price down, but I ended up paying about $40 some for this palette. And I think it's going to really be beautiful. I am going to be working with this one really soon. Right now, I am still working on Pretty Grunge, but this one is coming up very soon, and I'm really excited. I would say I'm mostly excited about these purples. I'm also excited about this duochrome that we see here. I think there's actually maybe two, because this one looks like it's flipping as well. Oh my goodness, yeah, because oh my gosh, it looks green here, but to me it looks purple. So I'm really excited to swatch and play with this palette. Please let me know if you purchase this one. I think it's really nice. Now, palette number 11 is a true oldie but goodie, but it was one of the ones I remember while I was filming. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to pull it out. It is none other than the Bubblegum palette from BH Cosmetics, the old BH Cosmetics, the Sweet Shops. Probably should check this one out and see how it's doing. It smells fine. I really love the shade Sweet Tooth in this palette. It's such a nice blue. Man, BH had some nice palettes, y'all. Look at that. So we're talking about, I don't know, 3-year-old palette, because the Sweet Shops kept restocking and restocking. And I got my palettes on one of the restocks. But look at that. That is so... Ooh, that's beautiful. Let's swatch Blueberry right here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I miss the old BH, because they really did have some nice color stories and some nice quality shadows. This is the shade Pop. So this is still good, y'all. I'm really happy to see that. And this will partner up. I mean, everything's already been done. I always say it. Everything has been done in the makeup streets. So if you have Bubblegum and you forgot about her, pull her out and create a winter wonderland look. That is so pretty. Look at that. And these palettes, the Sweet Shops were not expensive palettes. Like, they weren't over $20, I don't think. So palette number 12. This is another one that's like galactic nighttime, but it has some metallics in here that give me the winter wonderland vibes. And it is the Quintessence palette from Sydney Grace. And this was the collaboration with Temptalia. This is my favorite out of all 3 of those palettes. And I love the shade Cirrus Starlight. This one right here. Oh my gosh. Serious Starlight. I think that's how you say it. Look at that. You can have some chips. Yeah, you can get them. We're getting ready to leave though. I love that silver. I love Reaching Zenith. These like grays here. Parallax is another really nice gray that you can use to blend out the Milky Way. Oh, I love this one too. Yeah, this one's nice. This one almost has a, not almost, it has a duochrome flip in it. I knew I was not going to be able to get too far in this video without swatching. I love that shade. So, oh, let's look at Aurora, this beautiful blue purple here. You know, winter doesn't have to be blue, but that's just what I think of. But look at that. This palette is, this is the best one out of the 3, I'm telling y'all. And I did not expect to like this one as much as I like it. But I really think that one is good. That whole collection was great. So there was some good makeup that has come out in my makeup life, y'all. It's not all bad. Now, palette number 13 is from Melt Cosmetics, and this is the Mary Jane palette. This is another one I did not originally pull out. In the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot one. This is Dirty Snow, y'all. Come on, Dirty Snow. Once everybody has been back out in the streets, back out at work, this is what you got. You know, this palette is like a heavy, you know, it's heavy looks. You don't really have any, I mean, you've got these mid-tone shades. You don't really have a real light transition shade, but Melt does a great job with their mattes. So these are very easy to blend out. Everything in here is heavy. So it does remind me of winter time. And I did, what's the word I'm looking for? Deconstruct this palette, and I put in my own shimmers for these two on the outside because they were not good shimmers, and I used some shades from Give Me Glow. But the shimmers that really stand out to me like are these grungy ones like Santa Maria. It's like soot. I love that. Bamba is another one. And Melt, you know, they will do these shimmers that have slightly different tones to them. Sweet Lucy is another one. And these are, you know, they're not the best shimmers, but they're not those shimmers from Melt that I can't stand. I think this palette is really good. And, you know, you can't use a lot of shades with this palette because they will muddy together. And then you'll be like, I can't make any looks that have variety because you can only use like one or two shadows with this palette. And I've noticed that with Gemini 2 as well. You know, 1 and done, 2 and done, 3 at the most. You start trying to do a whole bunch, it's gonna look gray, and that's it. That's it. All right, palette number 14. We're going back to BH Cosmetics, and we are talking about the Blueberry Muffin palette, y'all. Another classic one. I have swatched this recently, and I know she's still good. But look at this. This color story, like, I'm so sad BH went bankrupt and then had to be under Makeup Revolution because their comeback just has not been the same. Please let me know if you've tried BH Cosmetics since they have returned to the world of makeup, because I have not looked twice their way. They may have their same formula, I don't know, but maybe it's something being under XX Revolution or whatever. I'm not sure. Look at Cheat Day. Cheat Day is, what's that, Periwinkle? This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Running out of room there. But that's, we gotta do something with this one, y'all. And I love that you still have a few like browns and neutrals where you can do something else. You've got some icy grays, white or icy white, some like rosy gold, some little champagnes there. This is little navy shimmer. Shoot, this was such a good palette, y'all. Oh my gosh, it makes me so sad. I hope I kept avocado toast. Now that I think about it, that would be sad if I didn't. Okay, y'all, we're gonna wrap this up, y'all. And palette number 15. Y'all already know what the palette is, y'all, because I'm obsessed with it. Now I know obsessed is like this YouTube phenomenon, like that word or whatever right now, but no, I'm obsessed with this palette. Tasha. If this doesn't say winter and snow, Xenon, what does? This palette, y'all, is, I'm looking at it right now like, what's the big fuss? Y'all, I would not lie. I would not lie. And you know, because cool tones are not my thing. I felt like we were bamboozled with the pictures, but that bamboozlement with the pictures was the best thing that could happen for this palette, because it's not black and white and gray. It is, but it's not. You've got blue grays. You have a little champagne shimmer. You've got a little icy pink shimmer. It's not this pop. It just isn't. Snowbow. It's just not. It's icy pink. But I'm telling you, this with Seahorse, this with Boohoo, like this with Triochrome. Can you imagine this with Triochrome? The little Triochrome that I just showed y'all? Or even with some of those Dior blues. Like, this palette is gonna go so good with some blues, y'all. My favorite shades, I would say Ebb is one of my favorites. Look at that blue. I would say Sposh which is a cream to powder charcoal gray, super ionic. I have so many favorites in this palette. Stellar is a beautiful topper. Wet Effect. Cygnus is like a deep charcoal gray shimmer. Oh my. A sleeper palette for me, because I cannot, every time I talk about this palette, I cannot believe I am talking about it this way. It's not even colorful. It's not earthy. It's none of the things that I proclaim to love about eyeshadow, except for the fact that it was unexpected. It was a great experience putting it on. The quality was great. And the whole thing was a surprise, surprise. That's all is rent free in my head, y'all. Okay. That's it. 15 palettes. I don't want to overdo it, but those are my winter palettes. They're giving me all the vibes. This is as excited about winter that I'm probably going to get, because I'm feeling like we're going to be getting snow, and I would prefer not to, like last year, but I'm feeling like we're going to be getting snow this year. And you know, the winter vibes, looking at the cozy cabins and, oh, we're looking outside and the snow is coming down. All that is beautiful, and I love that idea until I have to go out in it, until I have to go to work. And plus, teacher rant coming on real quick because I got to get these kids dressed. We don't even have real snow days. They want to do virtual days now. So if I had to do a virtual day, I'd rather just go into work, because virtual days are like, everybody's not coming. The kids be having like other tabs open. They're not paying attention to me. So I don't think we have utilized a virtual snow day yet. They did give us one real snow day a couple years ago, but I'm not sure what constitutes whether we do virtual or not. And all of it is just a huge no. So, you know, the snow, whatever, I'd rather just reminisce and talk about the snow with these palettes. And that's as close to it as I'm trying to get. That's where I'm at. The dirty snow, I'm good with that. See, I got that, the dirty snow. I got the crisp, fresh snow. I don't like ice. I don't ice skate. So I got my icy blue shades here. I got everything I need to have a winter wonderland in this house, in the warmth. Let me stop for it. I'm starting to get mad. All right, y'all. That's going to be it for this video. Let me know which of these palettes you have. Let me know which palettes you may have missed. Let me know which ones you love. And let me know what season you love. Do you love winter? Let me know if you love the winter, because I know some of y'all live where it's cold. But that's just not in the plans for me, okay? So I'm identifying as a person who I'm heading to warmer weather somewhere. I don't know where, but somewhere, even if it's just for a short time. All right. Thank you so much for taking out some of your time and hanging with me for the 7th day of FRIZZMAS. I love y'all so much. I'm having such a ball, and we just are getting started. I hope this was therapy for you. It always is for me. And until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice. Stay safe. And I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Bye.